Hello, my name is Kina Kay, and I am a advocate, like I've explained before, for the children, and now I'm an advocate and a civil rights leader at this point to stand up for President Trump and the Caucasians of this country because they've been under attack. I've seen violence where a woman was beat with a pipe here in this state of New York, Western New York, and multiple situations where they've been attacked and beaten. I've put a couple things together because after seeing how the elections and all of what has transpired in the last 4 years, I can no longer be silenced and I must stand up for the greater good and the good people that are trying at this very moment. I will be reading everything that I worked on yesterday from this screen over here, and I may have to adjust or squinch my eyes because I may lose where I'm located. So let's begin. We are calling on the FCC to do their job. They need to accept all Republicans' complaints from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, blocking them from posting the truth. Facebook labeled it fact check, which was created not that long ago by the Democrats and are heavily just now being used as a tool to manipulate and control. The FCC also needs to fine all news stations for reporting fake news and opinions along with analysts. We want real news. We want information. The Democrats have used the media to lie to the American people time and time again. This has been going on long before Trump's inauguration and run. It just became far worse. 90% or more is all fake news. We, the people of America, have been stressed due to this overwhelmed and disregarded basic human rights and fairness for true news and facts are deserved for the people and by the people. Complaints need to be submitted to them as soon as possible. We're asking for live updates and publicized updates on some of the complaints where we, the people, can prove the news lied, where they can prove the news comprehensive lies. This is no longer freedom or a free country if the Democrats feel that they can brainwash a lot of citizens and get away with it. When this country was founded or conquered, whichever one you want to utilize, the people from Europe and our forefathers constitutionalized this country. They ran away from Europe and fought against British monarchy. The true fact of today's time, through my eyes, are that some head politicians are now acting as kings and queens. They no longer follow the law. They very much are above the law, as they claim the president isn't above the law. The truth is, they themselves are above the law. Cuomo has countless times broken the law with total disregard to the citizens he served. Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff have also conducted themselves as royal dictators. Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff knowingly pushed for impeachment without any cause, knowing it was all fake and has been proven. As an advocate for not only President Trump, but the citizens of this great country, I demand, on behalf of the citizens and the President of the United States, that the FBI, the FBI that has been corrupt and proven to be corrupt, go after Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Andrew Cuomo. I have been saying this for so long. Now, one second. For so long now, why do we have an FBI agency? If they would do their job, they are too busy up the Democratic dictatorships behind. This is an embarrassment and an outrage and a cry for help to put order back into the system. And we all know the system is broken for quite some time. I'm asking as an advocate and a representative of the people for order. I'm also an advocate for the president once again. Civil rights and every Caucasian American's civil rights. It has been violated beyond belief. The FBI needs to get on the news stations for reporting rhetoric, lies, racism in and out towards and against whites, making it okay for people to believe. One second. Making it okay for people to believe and feel that they have the right and audacity to publicly and publicize through CNN and MSNBC and other stations that whites should be spoken to that way and talked down to, normalizing degrading them and acting as if they personally owe them something. I ask right now, where were you, Federal Bureau of Investigations, when all of this have taken place? Why are you employed? We've witnessed threats towards the President of the United States. As per usual, nothing's done. When Queen Nancy Pelosi is spoke to in a certain manner, here goes the FBI, there to arrest them. Then we have the people of Western New York. They call Andrew Cuomo king. I wonder why. I would never call him that. He has written things into law without it going into legislation first. This is beyond the people's control, and we want justice. No more royal dictatorship. Not being prosecuted. We're calling for the FBI to do something about this. Then we have Hillary Clinton and her crimes, along with Joe Biden and his crimes, that the FBI won't even acknowledge. They make false claims for Hillary that it's national security. That is a complete lie, flat out lie. It is a way for her to cover up and hide behind her lie and crimes so that her crimes aren't exposed. We've heard every liberal and every Democratic leader like Nancy Pelosi say that the president is not above the law. Let's follow the great words of Nancy Pelosi and put it to good use. We're calling on the FBI to actually do their job. Go after who we already know committed crimes, wasted taxpayers' money and time. Then top it off with Queen Nancy Pelosi and what Western New Yorkers call King Cuomo had the audacity to abuse their power and abuse the people with giving themselves a raise, which is the House of Representatives done by Nancy Pelosi and Andrew Cuomo giving a raise to himself and in our legislation in New York State. We, the people, are not receiving rewards and raises for a horrible job. Your Royal Highness not only commit crimes, but are vastly corrupt, then give themselves a raise, and the people that are working with them in the cabinets, both the legislative branch and the House, are supposed to serve the people. They are, in fact, only considered by us as cronies because they are knowingly assisting the Royal Highness in crimes and are also covering up these crimes. Dear Bureau of Investigations, did you know that Andrew Cuomo started an anti-corruption team? But when that anti-corruption team made it to his office, he shut the whole program down. I personally, on behalf of the people, do not feel that I should be informing you this information. You should already know this. The fact that the law-abiding American citizens are treated in such a manner is absurd. I find it hard to believe and unbelievable that foreign people, illegal aliens, and criminals are receiving better treatment than law-abiding citizens. One second. It's absurd. I find it hard to believe. I did that. Hard to believe and unbelievable that foreign people, illegal aliens, and criminals are receiving better treatment than law-abiding citizens. We elect Republican senators for Buffalo, New York. Then Your Highness label us a blue city every time. How does that make sense? We are robbed of our elections, especially in New York State, the leading corrupt state in America. Then California's next. No wonder Andrew Cuomo is the head of the governor's committee, and Nancy Pelosi is so honored to be there with him, so they can conjure up more ways to steal money and get fat. As the very elite, Your Highness tells the law-abiding citizens we can commit crimes and not be prosecuted. But if you do it, we'll throw the whole book at you. We mustn't forget the corrupt judges and cronies as well in exchange for favors for people like them. If Your Highness can say the president isn't above the law, then we need to address the real issues and really go to the top. That includes corrupt judges, to any corrupt FBI agent or CIA, to corrupt politicians, to corrupt police, and any and all in between. Actually, and finally, doing what Queen Nancy Pelosi says to do. Go after the highest of the system, which she thinks is the president. Only now, because no one is above the law, when I'm way too smart and ahead of the game with her. We need to honor and implement the true meaning, no one is above the law, by prosecuting them, the untouchables, for their crimes and holding them civilly responsible for their crimes, restoring justice, law, and order for the people, There are known cases where law-abiding citizens are being treated like criminals, as your highnesses, Nancy Pelosi and Andrew Cuomo, tells us, let them eat cake and be harassed and abused by the criminals. I, as a representative and advocate for the people, I would like to see law and order restored, starting with our Federal Bureau of Investigations. One thing I stand on 100% is fairness and equality without discrimination. Something the Democrat leadership claims they are for, but will not enforce it. Whether you want to admit it or not, our president has actually taken care of, under his administration, the most vulnerable, which are the kids, the forgotten women in the slave and sex trafficking industry. Realistically, it's quite hard, to my mind, to try to fix everything. But the president has proven that he can fix some things. President Trump and his administration, and thanks to the sheriffs who have recovered many children, the women that have been saved from sex trafficking. Ivanka Trump worked diligently with the group to provide shelter and assistance to these abused women and provided funds to assist them, that we can only imagine what they've been through. There's no wonder Epstein was being exposed along with all the rest under his administration. This was no coincidence by any means. President Trump and his administration had a plan, and he stuck with it and has proven to be successful. You don't see much reporting on this crisis on CNN with the success stories, do you? The Democrats claim a lot of things, but they haven't proven much. The most I've seen them prove, for example, a true fact, the Democratic leaders and who they call King Cuomo believes in abortions at 9 months. These same dictators have not spoken a word or sound of the children and the sex slaves that have been rescued. But they care. I like to help out President Trump by covering two very sensitive subjects that he himself could not do alone, considering the big attacks against him. We will need the FBI's assistance once again for this to work. What I would call crimes against humanity, but don't quote me on it. Doing some justice for Flint, Michigan, actually filing charges on all politicians and leaders that abused money meant for the repair for the water pipes in Flint, Michigan. Don't stop there. Seize all real property and assets done by these criminals. Also, follow the money trail in case some were intentionally hidden. That is what the FBI is for. And we haven't seen this in a good... We haven't seen this good in quite some time. The other very sensitive subject that affects all Americans emotionally, the killings of unarmed citizens done by the corrupt officers. This is actually a small percent, a very small percent. The majority are great officers. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to solve this particular problem. I feel that the captains throughout the states should meet with the president and discuss better training and possibly take my advice. which is if an individual is unarmed, don't shoot, that it is the captain's responsibility to allocate funds so that all officers can have tasers in these situations. If there is a mentally disturbed person suffering from mental illness and they have a knife, if you can, try to defuse the situation. Please do so. If you repeat to them over and over and they are running to you to try to cause you harm, then shoot them in the kneecap and shoot them in the leg. Stop, wait, think. See if it stops them from trying to assault you. If there's a regular citizen that is just not complying without any weapon, don't shoot them unless they are physically trying to attack you. Shoot them in the kneecap and leg. If there's a regular citizen that has a firearm and does not listen to you when you say drop the weapon before they can raise it, then shoot them to kill. We will not sit back and stand by the foolishness that has been going on for so long towards our officers as well. They are in fact putting their lives on the line. It is a very stressful job that they have sworn to protect and serve in our communities. There isn't anyone else willing to do this job. If there was, the Black community would be applying to be the police within their own communities. All I hear is talk and no actions from the community. If they in fact had a better plan, it would have already been implemented. Protesting at this point is ridiculous, in my opinion. It solves nothing, and it only helps the criminals to come out after the true demonstrators finish protesting. It only opens up the door for the criminals and the ignorant fools to tear down your communities. I would be more than pleased to also give my input, expertise, and experience to help Ice Cube in his plan to help the Black community. I have been doing my part to help make America great again. Let's make it make sense. I personally do not care for what Black Lives Matter stand for. But this is better than Biden. There was a young lady that won an election, and she's with the Black Lives Matter movement. I say it's better than Biden opening up the border and bringing more Middle Eastern people that don't like Americans, and then turning around and going into government, winning House seats and legislative seats. The last thing any of us Americans want are the problems that the UK and the European Union face now. Potential bomb threats, having your neck cut up. The women are getting raped a lot now by the foreign immigrants from the Middle East. Last but not least, having them jump into semi-trucks and running a group of citizens down to death. I just hope the young lady that won the election uses her head and not be a typical Democrat. Just follow along party lines. And just follow along party lines. Do what's right. Do your research. Because they are on one. They are lying about everything, especially Trump. They have been, the Democrats have been trying to cheat all along by having the mail-in votes when they know when they have been caught many times cheating before in the past, and it makes it that much easier for the Democrats to do just that. Furthermore, the majority of the elections I've witnessed, they counted them by the end of the night. Number one, they said they would not be counting overnight, but somehow Biden has 180,000 votes magically appear overnight. Number three, there would not be they would not allow poll watchers to watch the count, which is absurd, considering the Democrats are the ones to count the votes. And if you haven't learned anything, they did a coup on this president when they knew it was not true. They have lied time and time again and used the media to lie constantly. There are many laws that were broken. Number one, passing out pamphlets of a candidate, promoting a candidate on their face masks by someone that knows better, the supervisors of elections. They know good and goddamn well they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to stop other people from doing it, to not break the law. Four, having billboards of Biden in and around the polls. Five, not allowing the poll watchers to watch the count. I think I covered that one, sorry. There was supposed to be someone there to monitor overnight, and they sent them all home. We have witnessed over and over where Democrats are not being held accountable for their crimes and actions. Everyone looks the other way. We are very, very tired of the corrupt Democrats being above the law. You notice they always say the president isn't above the law, when in all honesty, the finger should be pointed at themselves because they're trying to deflate the corruption that has been uncovered by them or about them. It is enough of this already. We the people have had enough, and it's time to drain the swamp once and for all. As far as I'm concerned, I do not care for what any radical left has to say. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and we will not accept cheating at the polls. We should not be censored. We should not be silenced. If someone is expressing themselves and it is a fact, but you may not like how they word it, or perhaps that they cursed and used real life experiences, we shouldn't pass judgment when all too often these very same people are doing the same thing. They have just become full of themselves and now have the special privileges because they can hide behind calling anyone that don't suit their needs or agendas and label us as racist. That it has become normalized. If this type of behavior is okay, I am totally against it. I am a conservative and a fair person. The one man trying to save America and Americans, but the gullible citizens are just that, gullible. Hopefully more people can become educated in areas that they haven't a clue. For all the haters, you have no great sportsmanship. Congratulations to the young lady that won her office seat. Don't be bought like the other old heads. Furthermore, I don't have time for Sharia law. That should be everyone's thinking at this point. That's 100% facts. For example, in Pennsylvania, let's see. Give me 1 second. in regards to what just happened at the polls, a lot seems fishy. And once again, I'm calling on the FBI to serve its citizens. We cannot do this without you. I like to say thank you to all the viewers and would like everyone to be included in this process. If you're not familiar with politics and don't understand, please follow me on my new Instagram, where I will be delivering real news stories and slowly breaking down what has transpired, what's going on currently, and how we can work together with full transparency. I would like to give my condolences to anyone that lost family members or friends or coworkers to COVID-19. I have a dream, like Dr. Martin Luther King, where Americans can finally have full transparency, restore law and order with no man above the law. I have a dream that we can bring back human decency. I have a dream that people can finally understand my way. No, not finally. I made a mistake. I have a dream that people can fully understand my way of thinking. We should not attack an entire group of people for one or a few bad and evil people, to solely judge and prosecute that individual that has attacked, or we should, when found out, that individual. Oh dear. That we Americans all implement not playing or buying into their party politics. If someone is running for office and they made a statement that is not so colorful to the people, or done something in their life that they're not proud of, we, the citizens of this nation, great nation, should not prosecute them. We should have a level head and keep in mind that no one is perfect. We can go by their actions and what other people have to say about them, not to rely on the news or and its fake bias and heavily racist CNN. When a person is proven to be guilty, then and only then should we judge and prosecute them. It is up to us to do our research and any elected official before jumping the gun and jumping on board with the radical left. We have seen what they are capable of and have done and proven to be. If a person shows you who they are, most people are deeper than their first impression. And some people have multifaceted, like a diamond, to them, and some are not. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but we live in a time where people may feel that we have abandoned them, and no one has stood up for them as we watch the ills that have taken place over the years involving them. It's unfortunate that the majority of people in the United States are unable to fully understand a person's experience in hardships, and some have been robbed of a decent right to live. Most people cannot understand, unfortunately, until they themselves experience it. It is sad but true, and you would think that we've evolved as a human race, but we have some growing up to do. I've been very active and vocal on Facebook on issues and concerns that plagues this country. I have tried my best to be informative, I can't pronounce it at the moment, be informative, and very active in doing my part to making America great again. For the ones that don't agree with that quote, please join me in doing your part to making America great. I have a dream that the Black community will break the cycle for change in a productive and positive way for the next generation. We have to put, sorry, we have to put in the effort and energy to at least learn the importance of how policies can affect us as Americans. Also, to fully understand that we are nothing more than our environment. I find it interesting and an honor to be on both sides of the fence, that I'm well rounded to understanding things to its entirety, how both parties feel. At times during this administration, I feel like I was stuck in the middle, trying to be as helpful as I can. One thing I can say for sure is that at the age of 18, I actually wanted to be a politician. Do not ask me how I know or knew, but at 18, for my brief observation into politicians, I came to the conclusion that if I went down that route, I would not be allowed to make any real good change in my community. I have witnessed what Maxine Waters has to offer. I have witnessed what Dianne Feinstein has to offer. I've also witnessed how people like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton can be used as tools against the people. They may have went in thinking to do good and slowly fell to the wayside. As I suspected at the early age of 18 that it was corrupt and greed and power and a power struggle institution, I now look forward to young people, middle-aged people, even old, to follow me on my new Instagram so that you can be in the know of what's going on. That in itself makes a world of difference. We must evolve. If you like what I've said and you do have the opportunity of following me on Instagram, after learning more about me and my ideology, I already have the support of a couple officers in my community. I will be looking forward to running for mayor and or governor. The next one may be a long stretch, but I have a dream to becoming the president of the United States, if need be, after all I've seen, and if I have the support of the people. The only reason why I would go that far is because of all of what transpired and what's going on should scare everyone. I don't know about you, but I need the Trump train to keep going and continue to do some good for the people. Whether you like it or not, this is every American's problem. Okay. We are living in uncertain times, and the last thing we need is Biden in office implementing ghetto trash to move into the suburban community. Rather you worked your way to the top to be there, or you inherited that position. We cannot stand by and allow for these communities to be torn down as well. We need to help and fix the problems in the ghetto. I know what it's like to live next to ghetto trash. My mayor, Byron Brown, and Governor Andrew Cuomo, and elected officials are to blame for these conditions. They have it to where I, as a law-abiding citizen, is treated like a criminal, and the criminals are treated very well. They are rewarded for their crimes and are allowed to be a nuisance to me and my neighbors. The criminals are allowed to harass me constantly, and nothing's being done about it. I have phoned the city many times over the years. I've called my elected officials, and I always work with my local law enforcement to report crimes on a regular basis. They know me by heart. I have sent them videos of crime, and unfortunately, nothing's able to be done because my mayor, Byron Brown, and my governor, Andrew Cuomo, informed my local police department to not arrest people with 2 ounces of marijuana on them. I don't have a problem with people that choose to use marijuana for their own personal use, but I do not, but oh no, not do not, but I do have a problem with people that think they can move into my community and start dealing drugs. If these are the problems that I face, we can only imagine what course we're on. It cannot get any better. It will definitely get worse. Then we will have no one but ourselves to blame. Thank you for listening, and my information will be linked below